little behind there, ain't I? James, what's going on, buddy?
Hey,
How
buddy.
you doing? He is first. How are you? Well, howdy, Mike.
Howdy.
How are you?
I am run ragged over the last first part of this week, and I got more to do tomorrow.
Yeah, I've been kind of. It's been there we go. Been kind of a week for me, but
Yeah.
finally got my medicines and started taking them. Now I'm all trying to get adjusted again.
I've been to either my doctor's or family members' doctors, namely mother-in-law and brother-in-law, every day this week.
Yee.
And I got it tomorrow too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got the whole gambit next week. Scans, blood work, oncologist, all that next week. So,
I'll say a prayer for a good outcome.
Good reports.
Yep. So,
What do they call it? No sign of disease. What is it?
NED.
NED. No evidence of disease.
Right.
Okay.
So, wife loves it when she gets a little report and it says you're unremarkable.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'd never heard that in the same, like me and unremarkable in the same sentence ever until I cat friends, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
So you got a meatloaf, huh?
What I'm gonna do is you could call it a deconstructed meatloaf or whatever. I'm gonna do a meatloaf scramble.
What's going on, James?
It'll be all the seasonings and cooked with like you're doing everything. Put eggs. It won't be eggs in there or breadcrumbs or anything like that because I don't need a binder. And I wouldn't use breadcrumbs anyway. I use pork rinds.
Right.
I don't need that binder, so I don't need to put that in there. But it'll be a scramble where I'll season it up, put it like a tomato gravy, make like a tomato gravy in it, and not a true gravy, but sort of. And then I'm gonna serve it over nachos.
Oh, okay. Okay, so like something similar to a sloppy Joe
Similar, yeah.
on nachos.
Right. Yeah.
Loaf Joe.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Honey badger.
Well, sticking with my cast iron theme on our lives, my grill has a cast iron grate.
All right. There you go.
Even though we're using these little mini muffin tins, we're going to use it. We're going to cook on a cast iron grate on the grill. I've got it set up with the vortex. So for anybody that doesn't know, like if this is your grill,
right,
the inside here, where this part here, where all your coals are, and your rack sits up here, and all your heat is in the center.
Right.
But as it comes up, it hits the top of the dome and rolls around.
Right.
And gives you even cooking all the way across.
Gives you like a vortex where it'll cook even.
So you can blast them like I got it up. I'm trying to get up to 400 degrees. So all that's coming up and hitting and rolling around, then going out.
It'll be a much more even cook than it would in the oven too.
Absolutely. I love that thing. And I run it around 400 degrees, and it's about the equivalent to an air fryer.
Yeah, because you're moving air. You are moving air.
And in fact, I don't even know. We have an air fryer, but I don't know how to use it. So Cubs used it and showed me, but I don't know how to use it, so I just use my vortex grill.
Used my air fryer last night because it's got a rotisserie on it, and I rotisserie the 2 tenderloins.
Rick, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, Rick.
So
the air fryer, man, it is such a great thing. That invention. If you look back on it, what they had there, was it New Wave where they had that, called it cyclonic cooking?
Yeah.
It's your first iteration of an air fryer.
Same thing.
And that was where it all started. And everybody was, oh, it's a little poo-poo in it, and they want out of this and on it. Don't cook it. We won't do it. Now, hell, everybody wants an air fryer.
I could do without it, but the wife wanted it because the daughter's boyfriend, that's all he cooks on. So whatever. However, whatever,
There was a time. There was a time where I lived in Macon. I had an apartment in Macon for a promotion I took, and the apartment didn't have a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It was an efficiency. I mean, not even an efficiency. It was a studio apartment. Basically, I had a room.
Yeah.
And so I had a toaster oven and a microwave.
Okay.
If I'd have had an air fryer, what I couldn't have done with some food.
Yeah, I tell you, the old toaster ovens, I never had one of those either, but I stayed with friends that had them, and they loved them.
I cooked a lot of things in that toaster oven.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had one, but it's like in almost all of the offices of the buildings that I've worked in, our employee lounge always had a toaster oven in it for our break room.
Mm-hmm.
James, yeah, we're on the same thing, man. I don't know how to use it.
I figured it out, man. I love it. If you want to see about doing it and about what to do, I've got some videos out there that put the air fryer to use, and I've cooked pork chops, I've cooked steak, I've cooked vegetables, I've cooked fish, you name it. I've cooked it in there. Excuse me, man.
I'll watch that Booger US 50, 500, or whatever it is, and she does a lot of amazing stuff in the air fryer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like a bread machine. We had a bread machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my wife could make bread all day long. I tried it, and even after the time it was all done, nothing incorporated. I screwed it up. How do you screw up a bread machine? You dump it all in there,
And
you let it go. And I pushed start and everything ran. I mean, it kept running. It was mixing and doing its thing, but it never made. So I just said, I'm done with the bread machine.
I've had the same issue. I got to where whenever I use our bread machine, I mix everything in a bowl and then I pour it into the bread machine. That way it's already incorporated.
Yeah, I just unplugged it, cleaned it, and stuck it in the garage for about, 3 years, and then took it to the
That's funny. Well, we had a bread machine. Actually, we may still have it, but we haven't used it since we've been on keto. I used to make bread kind of regular.
Yeah.
And
I was looking up
good bread.
My daughter, Peg, she's in college, and she started a sourdough starter. So she's been working sourdoughs. And so she's been doing different things with that. And one of the guys I work out with in the mornings, he said, I've been thinking about a pumpernickel. And I thought, ooh, man, I haven't had a good pumpernickel in forever.
That's because there's no such thing as good pumpernickel. That's like saying good rye. There's no such thing as good rye.
We're not going to get into this discussion. Anyway, I know it's not white bread. It ain't right.
See here.
So, what all do you got to go into your meatloaf?
Well,
you're doing a scramble.
Right, but I'm going to do it. I've got, because I'm doing the scramble, I'm not having to make sure the binding. I decided to go with a leaner cut of meat and or leaner mix, and I've got Italian sausage, mild Italian, and I've got the 93.7 ground beef.
Okay.
Then I'll use your typical spices, which normally we put in like garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper. I'll add some pickle de gallo in it because it'll have peppers and onions in it too, and I'll add some dehydrated onions as well, and then I'll also put in. I normally put in a little bit of oregano or Italian seasoning, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, just a little, and I'm gonna put that in there, and it's gonna be everything short of being a meatloaf, besides just putting it together as a loaf. The Weber
kettle never fails. That's true.
Yeah,
absolutely, dude. I love that Weber kettle, and I didn't even start cooking on one until probably a year or two after I started smoking meats on a UDS, and it was probably a year after that I got into the Weber, and now Weber's usually the go-to.
Yeah.
Out of everything I got, the kettle's probably the go-to.
I got a buddy lives over in Bulgaria right now. His wife's in diplomatic service, and he does the cooking while she's at work because he's retired, and he's got a Weber kettle there, and he loves that Weber kettle. He will cook everything on it if he could.
Yeah, I pretty much try to.
He said, I was cooking really good on there. Really good. I could make some really good wings, really good chicken, things like that. And he said, then you told me about brining my chicken and all. And he said, since then, I have kicked it up to a whole new level. He said, my stuff I cook on there, he said, I got people at the embassy that are saying, I want you to cook this for me, you know.
That's what I want to get into. I think this year is going to be trying different brines, like brining different buttermilk, pickle juice, that kind of sweet tea, that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to try to put that on the things I need to do this year list.
And he uses salt water brine. I said you can use vinegar, you can use apple cider vinegar. There's a whole myriad of things you can use for a brine.
Yep.
And it'll work. And they all serve the same purpose, and the difference in them is it'll give it a different flavor.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you say we get started? I've got 90-10, 2 pounds.
You were on the same thinking I was.
Well, we went to Sam's and we bought that great big 10-pound log.
Uh-huh.
And I broke it up into 2-pound packs.
Yeah.
And put it in the freezer.
Right.
And then put it in the freezer so that way, whenever we needed something, we just thaw it out and go. So that's a 90-10. Then I've got a can of fire roasted rotel.
Okay, yeah.
Drained. So I drained that.
So I'm going to take all of that.
Yeah. And then I have about a cup of pork rind crumbs. And then we're adding 2 eggs.
There you go. All right, and you're using strictly ground beef then?
Yes. Okay. Because I was told Sunday that is the only way to make meatloaf. I'm not going to say who was giving me the static. But there will be obvious signs.
We were just talking. I told you that's all I ever do is use pure beef. I don't ever mix pork, sausage, nothing in my meatloaf.
So,
depends on what mood I'm in as to what I do with it. I go both ways because I like it. I mean, you know, I want to be able to enhance the flavor, and with this Italian sausage, it's going to enhance it. Now, on my YouTube page channel, I've got a video where I made a taco meatloaf, and I called it Taco Tuesday Meatloaf. And I'm here to tell you, it was wonderful.
You gonna do any rub on this?
What kind would you like? You want a Cajun? You want a smoke bomb? Original.
Something with a good salt and pepper mix in it. I mean, Cajun, if it's not too hot for you.
Let's do the smoke bomb. That's what I used the last time I made this. So we're going to use a little bit of Uncle Steve's smoke bomb.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one for it.
Yeah, that's good for meatloaf.
Yeah, especially since you're putting it on the grill. Because that'll help bring out those flavors in it.
Plus with the Rotel, so we're adding about a tablespoon and a half.
All righty. So let me turn this thing around where y'all can see what I'm doing. I've got the cellophane off of the plastic wrap, cellophane, whatever. I don't know what to call it. The wrapping.
Oh, I'm trying.
Let's see.
A little soup out of it. I didn't think I was going to get any. I didn't think I had preheated it enough, but I got a little bit.
Yeah. Taco meatloaf sounds great. You know, that does sound wonderful. You use like a taco seasoning and maybe a little chorizo.
Yeah, and I use salsa in it.
Yeah. Salsa would be fantastic.
All right, we're gonna make some patties.
That was when the dude had he did a collaboration thing where it said, "Don't let your meat loaf."
Yes, I was in on that one.
Yeah, I did that for that collaboration.
In fact, I went back to that video to see what I added to it because I remember my wife really liked it.
Right.
And I was going to use that cast iron skillet, the wedge pan. But it was strongly advised that we use these meatloaf tins. So we're doing those.
Well, does Lodge makes those little loaf pans too, right?
They make regular, maybe. They do make loaf pans. They don't make the minis though.
Oh, okay.
And I did not strongly suggest we use these. I just brought them over Sunday and said, "Hey, I've got these if you want to use these." And he said he had some disposable aluminum ones. I didn't know he was wanting to do this on a cast iron thing, but
hey,
he can blame me. It's always my fault.
No, he's using the grate. That fills the thing there for the cast iron. I was just thinking I remembered seeing some that Lodge had that was some kind of loaf pan of some sort.
Yeah, they have two different sizes now.
Okay.
In that video, the Don't Let Your Meatloaf collab, I had used this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that. The cornbread pan.
The cornbread wedge pan.
Yeah. I do remember you using that. That was a good collab. If you want to check out all those videos, it's under the hashtag Don't Let Your Meatloaf. There were some really fine recipes that were done on that.
I depend on my grandmother's cast iron skillet for most of my cooking. Yes. Although I didn't get into cast iron cooking until about the second year of actually barbecuing, smoking. My sister-in-law got us a 12-inch cast iron pan, Lodge, and a Lodge 10-inch grill pan. And we started fooling around with that. There's the SPG.
Yep, that was what I just put in.
And we started fooling around with that, and then it slowly became an addiction. Getting into the history of it, all that stuff, and turned out my aunt gave me a pan that was my grandpa's mom's skillet. They found it in her barn when they were cleaning out the barn. So I've got a pan that dates back to like 1870 to 1890.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
This pan was made. So that's one of my favorite pans. I absolutely love that pan.
The seasoning on that pan's got to be great.
I did strip it down because it was rusty.
Oh, okay.
And I had to strip it down and re-season it. But the timing of when I got the skillet was right before we found out that I had cancer.
Oh, okay.
And then it was I learned to make homemade biscuits in this pan. There's a look of it. So I learned to make homemade biscuits, and I learned that the greatest sound in the world, in my world, is I used to think it was the kids saying, "Dad, I love you." But really, it's the sound of bacon frying in a 120-year-old skillet.
Oh, yeah.
So
what I like to hear is when you have when you get the sizzle, when you've had it in the oven and you pour like cornbread in it, and you get sizzle from the bacon grease that's in there that you've used. Oh man, that's like music to your ears.
You got 7 loaves?
Yeah.
All
7?
right.
Did you say 7?
Yeah. You got 7 minis.
That's a pretty good bit.
So we'll go out and put them on the grill real quick.
You getting them hot before you put it in?
The grill's already heated up, yeah.
No, I mean the pans.
No.
Okay. This is just minced onion. Dehydrated minced onion. Or chopped onion. Whatever way you want to look at it. Let it reconstitute over time here. By the time we get it all said and done, it'll be ready. It'll be reconstituted and we'll have onions in there. My stovetop is clean. I cleaned it before I did this. Hey, this is looking good. Ooh, it smells good too. Love it.
All right. Now, what am I looking for? I was looking for something.
Now let's try this. And I'm not using just diced tomatoes or anything like that. I'm just going to use tomato paste. Make my excuse me. Man, something's gotten in my nose. Ooh. Make a little bit of a tomato gravy. It's not a traditional gravy, but it's about as close as I'm going to get for this.
The smell of
I don't want it soft in there, and it won't be a spaghetti sauce because it's not enough. Not enough to make it spaghetti.
I love the smell.
So then, Mike, I was like, I need a side dish, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I got.
Okay.
Rice veggie blends. It's a rainbow creamy Alfredo mix.
Ooh. I love it.
So I thought that'd be something nice to go with it, so that way, presentation-wise, when I put it on the plate, that it's not just a hunk of meat.
Right.
It's not a bad idea.
There's nothing wrong with a hunk of meat.
I know. So I'm going to use an old Wagner. Oh, y'all can't see that. There. Wagner Sydney O. Little skillet. Get that heated up. Little number 6.
Now, if you noticed, I'm just using a very little amount of this tomato sauce, just enough to kind of give it a gravy, because I don't want to turn this into spaghetti sauce.
That would be a bad thing, wouldn't it? That would be what you're not going for.
Right.
Spaghetti nachos.
That would actually be good, I think. Combine two of my favorite things, spaghetti and nachos.
Rick, that's awesome, man. If you got a skillet that goes back almost that far, that's incredible, dude.
Now, does anybody know the origin of nachos? Can anybody tell me how nachos got started? Let's see if I can see in the chat here.
Yeah. It's really cool to have a piece of history. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. I'm going to interrupt Mike while everybody's thinking or Googling. It doesn't matter, what name brand is on that skillet as long as there's a history behind it.
There you go.
Like my mom.
He brought his mom's skillet over. He goes,
It's a Chinese export.
He's like, it's not a Griswold. I was like, it doesn't matter what the name brand is, as long as it's got a history and, it'll cook just fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Growing up, that's what my mama, she always made. Her big in that skillet was whenever she would do squash and zucchini and onions. Like a little squash casserole type thing or whatever. She would do bacon in it. She would make sausage gravy in it. I mean, that's just the pan that she used.
So yeah, that's awesome. You got family history, and that's what the cast iron's really about. Is for me, it's all about the history.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, I fully agree. Now this.
Okay, so does anybody have Mike's answer? Same guy created them. I think his name was Nacho.
Yep.
Now,
he was a chef in El Paso, Texas, and he created them. And his nickname was Nacho because Nacho is a nickname for somebody named Ignacio. That's where the nickname comes from of Nacho. When you hear somebody called Nacho, it's because their name is Ignacio.
Ignacio. Huh. Did not know that.
No, I didn't either.
Well, cool.
All right, what I just put in was a little bit of pickle de gallo, just to give it a little bit of extra flavor. It's not an overwhelming pickle taste. It's just a little bit, and it's got a little bit of pepper, a little bit of onions in it, and I get it at Aldi, and it is seriously good. I'll show you. It's in the refrigerated section. It's Grillo.
Okay. I've not seen that one.
You know me either. Did you get it at Food Line?
You might be able to find it there. I bought it at Aldi. It's over in their deli section at Aldi.
Okay.
All righty, now I'm just going to let this reduce a little bit. But you
What
can
kind of skillet is Rick? Keep our family information, keep the family tree, and have furniture that my ancestors made. Wow, that's awesome. You know, I was wondering about that the other day. They were talking about, with Valentine's Day coming up, they were talking about people that's, getting divorced or people that are stepping out on their wives or whatever. And there was a whole spiel around it. Now, there was a point made, not just that we were talking about people, right? But there was a point made about it. And you start thinking about, the family tree. And I got to thinking about that. I was like, do they still do that now? Because I know there was a time where the kids had to do it for like my middle one or oldest one had to do it for like elementary or something. Look up the family tree. But then it got to where like I think the youngest one didn't have to do it. Like they didn't do that anymore because it got so hard. Because so many families were split or like 3 or 4 times. So it just got more and more complicated the younger the kids got.
That is kind of good right there.
I know. Growing up in school, I never had to do it.
We did. And my wife's got, I think my wife's got both her parents' sides family tree up to us. And then I don't know if she's added us in it or not, but like I've got an old family Bible of hers that has the history in it.
So that's the only place I've seen our family trees in some Bibles. We got some old family Bibles.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a Bible that I got when back when I got confirmed into the church, and then I kept putting stuff in as people died and whatever, and who they were to me and whatever. So
right,
verse and stuff like that. So I've kept some things on my own, but I don't know really if they still do that anymore. I mean, I know they can get on that ancestry.com, and I've heard good and bad. I don't know. I've not done it.
Yeah. I've got a cousin who's really into genealogy, and I want to show y'all this. You see that?
Wow. That is something.
Yeah, it's got our family there. That's my mother and father getting married in Australia, right there.
Wow.
It goes back to the 1500s, and he put all that together.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I got one uncle who got into it real big and traced it, like my dad's side, back to the guy who came over from Germany.
Oh, wow.
And then actually got in touch with a lady in Germany who's a distant relative. So he'd had some emails back and forth. What's up, Uncle Steve?
Hey, Steve.
We're using your stuff.
Yep, we got your smoke bomb in use, and Mike's got your SPG. Yeah, buddy.
I know that our family tree's been been ran back to my grandparents' whenever they came across from Lithuania and came on the Ellis Island, and they've got it documented down to that because I've seen that they've got the photocopies of that stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't know what years that was, but that's all I can remember.
I'm not sure. It doesn't show a brand. I think from other pans I've seen, it's a Wagner. The lid to it is a lid from a water bath canner. Oh, okay. So it could be.
It could be an unmarked Wagner.
It could be an unmarked Wagner if it has the typewriter font.
Yeah.
Then that's where I would go. If it's, oh shoot, let me pull one off here. This is an unmarked Wagner. It's got that kind of font, and they were known. They did have aluminum lids that they used instead of cast iron. The other type would be something similar to this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a BSR.
And it's got the ring on it.
Yep, Birmingham Stove and Range. Here is a truly unmarked Wagner, and it has nothing on it. How do I know? It's because of the handle that it's an unmarked Wagner.
Man, you turned one that I had that it was in, that I found at a estate sale. I bought it for $1. What was that? A 6 or an 8-inch?
6.
6, and they had it on sale for $1 at the estate sale. It was in pretty rough shape. And Lee got it, and Lee's got that thing shining like new money. His looks good.
Yep. I got it in the house. I can go get it real quick.
No, don't worry about it.
She is a beaut.
Yep.
That's done.
And it was one that was made in China, but it was a good quality. It just was neglected.
Yep, it was called Basic. It's worth whatever it is you put on it, whatever value. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It'll
serve you good. It'll serve you good for what you want to do. It's just, it just needed to be kept better. And whoever had it I'm sure at one time they kept it real well because it looked like an older one.
Yep.
And but over time it just got neglected.
Rick, that's awesome that you wrote stuff down going back 10 generations. That's incredible, dude. I mean, my he's the guy that knows all the stuff, and I'm like, you need to write this stuff down. But he's got arthritis in his hands, so he can't write hardly at all anymore. So he's trying to type. So I'm like, type some stuff up,
Do text to speech. He can just speak, and it'll read it right out in Word.
If it's technology, other than like opening up Word, he has a hard time. All the family trees are pines. Oh, Steve, that's funny. That family tree is really cool. Yeah, that was really neat.
I've got a friend who said, I don't have a family tree. I got a bush.
Drunken Chef, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Chef.
And that's where I got to thinking, like when we were talking, the message that the guy was trying to talk about was about, people being together and getting through the hard times and whatnot. And, and you think how easily somebody is to, do things that don't realize the effect that it has. Like when you get married, you just changed history, right?
Right.
And then when you get divorced or you have a child outside of your marriage or whatever, changed history again. And you don't realize that until you put it in perspective of like the family tree.
Right.
So it was just something I kicked around or whatever. So,
I mean, did you change history or did you create new history?
Traces the inside.
It's been about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go look at it. Let me go look at this and we'll be right back.
All right. You can see this right here. Look right here. Let me show you. That is not a spaghetti sauce. It's more like it's got a gravy on it. And it wasn't your traditional tomato gravy, but it was, it served the purpose that I wanted it to serve. And you could make this a sloppy Joe if you wanted to. I'm going to put it over nachos, but it's made with all the seasonings of It doesn't have the pork rinds that I put in. It doesn't have an egg in it because I put that in there also. Because I did not need a binder because of the way I was cooking it. But if I was doing a meatloaf, I'd certainly do that. Like I think they use pork rinds and eggs in theirs.
Yeah, we did.
Because I'm telling you, if you're not using breadcrumbs, you got to do something because it won't hold together if you don't.
So Rick's family is mainly from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Nashville. Awesome, man. Mine has, I mean, they got ours coming over from Germany to a spot in Ohio. And then my uncles have split. And I've got family in California. Some that was in Puerto Rico that's now in Florida. All over.
Yeah.
All over the East Coast now, most of us.
All right, let me get my chips here.
It's totally clear on bottom. Okay, so you're saying it doesn't have anything on the bottom. Let me pull this one out. So this is my unmarked Wagner, like completely unmarked. If you look at the handle right here, you see how it has this ridge and then a flat triangle. That's the handle of a Wagner. The other thing is on the handle on the other side has a number right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how else you will know that it's a Wagner. But there are numerous ones that Lodge had made some with no markings. They just have the heat ring around the bottom. Like, let's pull this little guy. Like this one. Little fella. Now that's got markings on it, but it could just have a heat ring. Which is this piece here. This right here is a heat ring. It could be solid. It could be 1 notch or 3 notch. And those would be a Lodge or BSR. The Century series, but that comes out a lot later than the 1900s or 1910s, 15s that you're talking. So that would probably be, if it was a BSR, it'd be a Red Mountain. So, but it could also be a Griswold Iron Mountain.
All right. I want y'all to look. That whole bag there went in. I use this whole bag. You don't see any partial chips in there, right?
Oh, there's
crumbs. There's just crumbs. But look at here. Every single chip is a whole chip.
Nice. Now, what kind of chips are those?
Those are legendary. They're a keto-friendly chip. They have 3 net carbs, and there's only 4 total carbs, and that's for the whole bag.
Okay.
And it's made, it's not exactly the cleanest of ingredients, but it's not totally bad either. So this is the ranch flavor, and they taste really good. They got a good crunch to them, but you can see every single chip stayed whole. And these are the puffed chips that they've got.
They don't stay whole in my bag of Doritos.
Nope. All right.
Thanks. It has a triangle handle, no number on it unless I clean up. Okay. There's videos on how to clean it up. I mean, I'm sure you know how. But if you wanted to really look into it, I'm guessing if it has a triangle on there, like the unmarked Wagner that I showed, that's probably what it is. And is an early Wagner, which is awesome, especially if it's not what's a spinner where it's kind of bowed at the bottom. So where instead of sitting flat, it has a little bow in it and it rocks. A lot of the times that happens because they were heated up too fast. So if you got one that's that old that's not a spinner, fantastic. Even if it is, it's still fantastic. Love it. I absolutely love looking into the history of it. And, when I got this one of my grandma's, or Grandma Pearl was who it was. I never met her, but she, just to think that my grandpa grew up eating biscuits and gravy out of that pan, that those are the meals that the things she used to cook. And it could be that she never used the thing and it was just for camping. I don't know. But in my head, the story I'm telling myself is this thing is awesome. This fed my grandpa all the way up until he left. And then he may use it for cooking, may have left it in the barn. I don't know. So, but I just love the history of it. I love the feeling you get when you cook in it. Like you get that feeling when you cook in your mom's skillet. You kind of get a feeling.
I just could.
No, last time we talked, he said he did. Like you get that kind of comforting feeling, like you're making this that your mom made, and you kind of get a little nostalgic, sort of.
I don't really have a nostalgic feeling from doing it. I mean, yeah, I realized that was my mom's pan, and I realized it's been in the family for years, but I don't feel as connected to my cast iron as you do. To me, it's just a pan. When I'm cooking bacon in the morning, if the cast iron skillet is the one that's sitting on that burner, that's the one I turn on. If my hex clad is on that burner, that's the one I turn on. I have no.
You got emotional when I gave it back to you.
I did because
started.
I did, and I mean
that's a connection.
But that's not every time I cook in it. That was just to actually have it done, have it clean and immaculate because it was caked up really bad.
It was pretty gunked up, yeah.
But I don't get that feeling whenever I use it. I mean, to have it and to know, hey, that was my mama's, and when she died, it came to me and stuff. I mean, now I do have a feeling and connection about that. But whenever I'm cooking it, to me, it's just I could do the same thing on any of the cast iron pans I pick up.
So here's the first taste.
Yeah, those look good. When I temped ours when we were out there a few minutes ago, it was only at 118.
Oh, wow.
So we got just a little ways to go.
But they were looking good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So nothing better than having a piece of history. Yep.
Let me go see if I can round up some folks to taste this.
And that's where I find a lot of guys that are collectors. Like I was watching a live stream last night, and the guy was going through some eBay sales that people were, selling stuff and what they sold for. And they had one Griswold that went for like $800.
Oh, wow.
Now, are you going to cook in that thing? No, probably not. You just paid $800. You're probably not going to cook in it. I was like, eesh. Or there was another one that went for $600 because it was different. Well, okay, I get it, but it's not what I'm into. I'm into using them. I mean, I still pull them off the wall every so often and use them. But
I've got five or six pans I got from my mom. The biggest one is the one that you put in your tank for me and cleaned up.
12-inch.
That's the biggest one that I got. The other ones are 10, 8, 6, or whatever. And like you talk about, you go through and you use them every so often just to keep them in rotation.
Yep.
That's something that I don't do. I really need to start doing that, I guess, if I wanted to keep them seasoned up and all. But you pull out the tray underneath my oven, the warming tray that I use for a cast iron storage bin.
Yeah.
And all of my stuff down there. One pan that I have used is the round grill pan, where it's I think it's 10 inches, but it has all the grill marks.
Lines in it, yeah. Frugal Mama, what's going on? How you doing?
Mama.
Yep. So I've got a bunch of them hanging up that I use as in rotation. And I try to get some of these in too, but some of them I'll never use. I've got this one. I just showed it a little bit ago. This number 3. This 3-notch. Check this out, Mike.
Oh, yeah. That's a
They
pretty
still
one.
got the original label in it.
Oh, good night. Look at that. It's still got care instructions and everything.
Yep. So this is probably 90s, late 80s, 90s. It's 3-notch lodge. It's never been seasoned. Still got the factory wax on it before they went to pre-season.
Yeah.
And I bought it because it still had the label in it.
Label. Yeah.
I thought it was cool, and I'm going to hang it up, and it's going to stay that way. So
I got some taste testers here.
all right.
I got the lovely Miss Page. She's not going to go on camera tonight.
I was just getting ready to make the screen wide so we can get her. Oh wait, I see Maddie.
And I have Maddie.
There she is.
I have to confess, I already tasted it, but it's delicious.
Now, does it remind you of the taste of a meatloaf?
A little bit, I think.
Right behind you here.
Let me see. The meatloaf,
That's what I was going for.
but like with everything else, you can taste the meatloafiness of it, but it's
I
definitely.
like that word, meatloafiness.
Yeah, me too. Me too. She coined the phrase.
What is it?
That's them right over there. You see them on the counter there? You like those chips?
Protein chips.
We're done.
My non-keto granddaughter loves the keto corn chips that I used. Those are the best chips I've had of it keto.
I love anything.
All right, they're coming off the grill. I'll be right back.
Oh wow, they're ready. That's good.
500 degrees.
All right. So I got thumbs up on this end for mine.
Yes.
That makes me feel good. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Master Chef.
You're too kind. So I'll take that. I love that. And I was hoping that I'd get that meatloaf flavor to come through, and it did. That's because the whole show was about meatloaf, and I wanted to do something other than just a regular meatloaf. And Lee's doing something other than just a regular meatloaf. He's making the mini loaves, so that's good. See how inventive we can get with the meatloaves, as the title of the thing said today. So I hope y'all enjoyed the taste test. I can't wait to see what these mini loaves look like coming off of the grill. They should be really, really good looking. And what the reason he put it on the grill is so it would cook faster, because it'll get up to temperature, it'll be a more even cook, and then the smaller meat, the loaf pan, that will also cook faster that way. So I think that
They are done.
So we had them on the vortex, 25-ish. So it was 23 after when I put them on.
okay,
So 52 minus 23.
maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
And they temped at 185, 188, 175.
Yeah, that's plenty, because they're going to continue to cook.
So they're done.
Yep.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off. I got to get rid of the plate. So, let me get my board back up here. Kind of a mess. Hold on. Okay.
Look at there, it came out whole.
And you can kind of see
Mm-hmm.
got a little smoke ring.
Yep, it surely does.
Got the little smoke bits.
Yep.
And then I'm going to add a little bit of my cauliflower blend mix, alfredo blend mix.
I bet that's going to taste real good.
I bet it is.
All right. I might as well put the whole thing on there.
What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much left, so I just have to have Rusty share. Okay. So there's that. Let me do a little bit of, because he doesn't like cilantro, we're going to do the...
Did you put cilantro
parsley.
on that?
No.
Okay. I thought cilantro was on Mexican dishes. Why would you put it on his?
What's Rusty going to eat? So I'm going to add a little bit of parsley just as a garnish.
Yep.
All right. Get a little snappy snap. I hear somebody laughing.
Yes, they're in the living room eating.
Oh!
Yeah. Did Lee make his Cajun anchovy meatloaf? Food factory.
Whoa, Tom!
Oh, that would be good. That would be good.
All right.
So,
well, have at it. We're going to see if this is going to be a touchdown or a no good. I need to get like a little flag that I can.
a yellow one. It's hot.
Now, normally I would add like a ketchup or a barbecue sauce on top.
Yeah.
If it's cooking, or actually, I would add it now and then set it in the microwave and let it cool for 15 minutes or so. The microwave acts as a hot box, so it'll still allow everything that your glaze to set.
Right.
But
that's what I would normally do.
But this come out very, very good. And it tastes, you know how you were going for the meatloaf burgers? This tastes exactly like I would expect a meatloaf burger to taste.
You know what I'm going to do, Mike?
You got it. Get a shuffle. There's Icky.
Whoa!
For those that don't know, that's Icky Woods. The Icky Shuffle.
That's the Icky Shuffle, man. All right. Woo! He likes it. He really likes it.
Lee forgot. Rusty likes it. Lee forgot something.
I use Rotel.
And say the Rotel gives it a completely different flavor than what you'd expect from meatloaf. And also a slightly different texture because of how moist and wet all those ingredients, all the peppers and onions are. So, but it gives it a different flavor. I'm not going to say it's better, but it's very, very good.
Not your mama's meatloaf.
Exactly.
So, like, growing up, I can't make meatloaf like my mom. I don't know why. And it's so simple because it was like ground beef, club crackers, and ketchup. And I think an egg. But the ketchup went on top. I don't know. I can never make it the same way she did. I don't know why. And my dad laughs at me because he's like, it's so easy. And I was like, I know a caveman can do it, but I can't.
I can't make my mama's either. There's some dishes of my mama's I could make, but that's not one of them. And hers was pretty basic too.
Is there broccoli mixed in with that?
It is like 3 or 4 different kinds of cauliflower mixed in. It's a rainbow alfredo mix.
Because I'm getting a broccoli flavor.
Might be.
Huh.
Okay.
If it's so easy, you make it, Dad.
That's
There you go.
This has purple, green, orange, and white riced cauliflower.
Ooh, yeah.
It is a rainbow cauliflower.
okay. Whenever you taste it, you'll see it tastes like broccoli.
Does not say anything about broccoli.
Honey Badger says, my mom makes a peanut butter and jelly, and it tastes better.
Well, all right. So you like it?
Yeah, it's real good.
Great.
Tanya
She
should
done knocked it out of the park.
be pleased when she gets home.
And that was under an hour.
Yep.
About 45 minutes. We're doing great.
We did real good. What you want to do next week?
Oh, I don't know. What do you got? I picked this week.
How about chicken?
Chicken?
Yeah. Whatever you want with chicken.
Canned?
Yeah, we can do canned if you want, or we can do, like canned. Why not?
Okay. Canned chicken.
Canned chicken. All right. Let's do canned chicken.
All right. Cool.
I like it.
We'll do it. Canned chicken.
Yep.
Okay. It's pretty wide open.
And not all, and by the way, not all canned chicken is made alike.
That is true. So, well, Mike, that was right at an hour. So,
Perfect. We got that one done right.
yeah. 500 degrees in these little mini tins. Took about 30 minutes.
That ain't bad for making a meatloaf. That is real good.
Well, and that was why we went smaller portions. The big one would have took an hour and a half, something like that, an hour and a half. So doing it this way just kind of really, and with the vortex, because I can get that higher heat and maintain it, it just, that vortex is awesome. I love it.
Yep. Now that's the thing. You want to cook something faster, have it get ready quicker. You got two choices basically, and that's to increase temperature or decrease size.
Yep. And we did both.
Yep.
Many of the meatloafs would make a great making for a slider. Absolutely. These would be
absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
You get your 4 sliders out of each one of these easy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, Mike, let's get out of here. We're canned chicken next week.
All right.
I don't know how to break down a canned chicken. Because I think it was last week or the week before I did I recorded a video where I broke down a whole chicken. But I have to edit it and all that stuff, so it's not ready to go yet. But
yeah.
So I was like, we could break down a whole canned chicken. This is the tender. It's like a puzzle.
Oh yeah, and you got to get that oyster out of there.
Oh man,
that's the best part of that whole chicken right there.
Yep.
Tender piece and got the milk flavor.
I like that and the flat.
Yep, flats are good too.
So, all right, Mike. Well, let's get out of here, and you can buy a whole chicken in a can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you sure can.
Yep.
I haven't seen it lately.
They're so tiny, it's like a Cornish hen, but
I haven't seen it lately.
One of them banny chickens.
Yeah. Huh. I'll have to see if we can find one of them.
Folks are saying, what's a banny chicken? A bantam chicken. I feel like my cousin Denny with the 2 Utes.
All right. Well, let's get out of here, Mike.
All right.
Your taste testers did wonderful, and mine enjoyed it. So
we done knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely. So we'll get out of here, and hey, if it looks good, try it. Remember, there's 2 rules in cooking. Did you have fun? Did it taste good? Rock on. Y'all are awesome.
Have a great week, guys.
Have a great week.
Let's be careful out there.
And
Charge.